So
Yay.
hi, everybody. This is Ashley from Asher B.
Hi.
And I just recently discovered her, again, from that list of Black-owned Etsy shops that I was looking at. And actually, I guess it was BIPOC Etsy shops. It's not just Black-owned. But
Mhm.
I found you from there, and I fell in love the minute I went to your page with
Aw.
your unicorn. Now, Julie, if you're watching this, you have to go to her store. I have a friend, Julie, who's mad about unicorns even more than me. So,
Mhm.
Julie, if you're watching, you have to go to the store. But everybody else, go to the store anyway. The links are in the comments on the webinar chat, and they're in the description on the Facebook broadcast. So check out the store and unicorns. The reason I like your pins so much is they're
Mhm.
not just the frou-frou-y I don't know, kitty unicorns, right? They've got some
That's
serious
right.
attitude to them. So tell me how you got started with, well, first of all, with making pins, but also just in arts in general. Tell me about yourself.
Sure. Where to start? First off, I have been very, very fortunate to have a mom and a grandmother who were very positive about me wanting to go into art. So I had that kind of backing where you can do anything that you really want to do. Just work really hard at it. We support you. Just make sure that what you really want to do,
Right.
and we're behind you. And
That's
so,
so good. Yeah,
yeah,
that support is so important. I had the same thing with my husband and my mom too, and
yeah.
it makes a big difference, doesn't
Oh, it does.
it?
My mom actually started kind of feeding me art at a young age. She took me
Yeah.
to different movies like Bambi, and that actually kind of started my whole idea of, well, Mom, what are they called? The people that actually make cartoons. And she said, oh, those are
Oh,
animators. Well, Mom, I want to be an animator. So
wow. So you knew from
my
the time
whole,
you were little.
yes. So I actually went to Pratt Institute,
Yeah.
graduated in 2006 with a fine arts bachelor's degree in
Okay.
traditional animation. And I always thought that that was going to be the path, and I was just really stuck on that. But I've always loved toys as well.
Yeah.
So that it kind of turned into a love of, well, I enjoyed character design.
Yeah.
So as I was progressing, looking for jobs, and it's a very, very tough industry to get into, I realized, well, it wasn't just the animation itself, but it was the character
The
design.
characters.
And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, it just popped in my head, why can't I actually work on toys instead of
Yeah.
just animation? I
Brilliant.
mean, they go hand in hand.
Right.
Um, so that led into me actually studying into that industry,
Okay.
doing character design for it.
Okay.
And while I was doing that, I was also going to the conventions because I love Comic Cons. I love
Yeah.
that. So,
Which ones have you been to? We usually go to
yeah.
Gen Con and Origins every year, which are the gaming
Okay. I
cons.
haven't been to those yet. I'm
Oh,
excited to one day do both of those.
cool.
Um, I've I was very, very grateful to get into New York Comic Con.
Oh, nice.
I've been to Dragon Con. I've been to Salt Lake City, Phoenix Comic Con with all three names. That
Wow.
it's had a very interesting,
History.
yeah. There are various other ones, but that kind of got me into, the idea of pins and wanting to
Oh,
do
yeah.
those
Yeah, because the
because
pin trading is huge at the
exactly.
cons. Yeah.
And that I think that's about the time when it started to blow up. And
Hmm.
then I started doing a little research. Well, how do I do that too? And
Right, right.
started with, I think, three different designs I wanted to do.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden it kind of exploded into about 48. And then now, if you know that there's actually a Kickstarter going on right now, that's an additional 37. So
It's
honestly,
funny
yeah,
how that happens, right?
I
It just
kind of think they're rabbits. They just
yeah,
multiply.
they just keep multiplying.
Exactly.
So so I okay, I hope this what I say isn't going to offend you if you don't like her. But when I first saw your page, I was like, oh my God, it's Lisa Frank with attitude. Like
I've
that was
forgotten
the
that.
first thing that popped into my head because I was such a Lisa Frank nut in the 90s. And then I looked at yours and I'm like, okay, they're sassy. I mean, they've got attitude. So
Well, thank
do
you.
you have stories behind the characters? Like, are they actual like characters to you, or is it more just I just drew it? You know?
Well, there is kind of a reason why they took on a sassier kind of look.
Okay.
And each one actually has its own little saying. The older ones have that more so on on the back of the backing card,
Mm-hmm.
so that, if someone doesn't really like sassy, they don't
Right.
have to see it.
Right.
Um, so I always love unicorns, and I
Okay.
decided to start with this big, large pink head unicorn.
Okay.
And I wanted to do an affirmation, something really positive. But in that time, I was working for someone who wasn't exactly inspiring me to be
Oh,
a positive person.
yeah,
And
that's no fun.
I needed an outlet. And I
Yeah.
thought, I was at 3 a.m. working on this for no pay, because, well, we're artists, we do that.
Right,
And
right. It's just what you do.
yeah, and I could not think of anything positive to say, which is really sad. It's pink and
Yeah,
it's bubbly, but I couldn't think of anything. And then I thought, you know, why do I have to? Why
right,
can't I just use this as a fun way to let out a little steam?
right,
You can be a snarky person, but you can still be sweet.
right.
But
And feel what you
yeah,
feel, you know? I mean, you
exactly.
don't have to always be rainbows and sunshine all the time.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I mean, like a, I kept thinking of, I don't know if you remember Happy Bunny.
No,
When
I
I was in
don't.
high school, that was a hot topic um, type of character. A very simple
Okay.
design, but I loved how mean he was, and he smiled the entire time because I thought it was just comical, being
Right.
berated by something so sweet. And so I thought, well, why can't I do something like that, but never snarky to the point where it's mean
Right,
or
right,
really, really rude. I'm not here to ever hurt anyone
right.
because
It's
there's no
it's more
reason to
about
do that. Exactly.
expressing what you're feeling, right?
Yes. So it's
Yeah.
it's things that you would normally hear from somebody else, but here's a you pretty unicorn saying this. So
Right.
then the tagline came up, well, you wouldn't be nice to me. I have a feeling you as a pretty unicorn would not be nice to me. It would be pretty awful. And then it said,
Yeah.
oh, the tagline is they're pretty awful.
Oh.
So,
And
yeah.
they're actually some of them are a little harsher than others, and some of them
Hmm.
are pretty mild. But
Yes.
I thought that I just spent like an hour when I first saw your page. I spent an hour like going through and scrolling through all of them and going and just laughing at them because they
Hmm.
were all awesome.
Thank
Um,
you.
so your Etsy store, I noticed, is down right now. What
Yes.
happened with that? Did you just run out of stock, or?
We basically, it was an amazing, surreal experience to have. I'm so appreciative of them listing my shop on their online list. And as
Mm-hmm.
soon as that took off, it took off.
Yeah.
And I had hundreds of new orders. So
Wow.
I like to make sure that I put as much attention to each one to make sure that it's correct, that I'm double checking pins, if I'm double checking plush to make sure it's okay.
Right.
And so I went ahead and took the executive's decision to shut down temporarily because I
Mm.
had that as well as the Kickstarter going at the same time. And
Right.
I don't want them to, you know, I don't want to falter
Right.
in something. I want to make sure
Absolutely.
that I'm doing my best for each
It's kind of
customer.
like the Oprah effect, right? Like you get the exposure suddenly, and then it's like,
Right.
oh my God, so much came in, and you're happy about it, but it's like, how do I manage this?
Exactly. With that nervous
Yeah.
smile. Ooh.
Oh, this is great. But that is awesome. That's exciting.
Yes.
So, but you plan to be back, I'm guessing by July, right?
Oh,
Okay.
yes. I'm
Okay,
hoping
cool.
the first week of July will be open. That'll actually be the end of that Kickstarter.
Okay.
Um, Doing again also really well,
Uh-huh.
which I did not think was going to happen. I thought maybe we'd have like a okay and gradual sales
Right.
pace, but in the first week, they unlocked all 36 pins. I didn't think that was possible.
Wow. That's
So
pretty cool.
I guess it's really relatable to a lot of
I think
people.
you're just gonna have to scale up production now.
Oh,
You're gonna have to
no,
like
it's gonna
open a
happen.
factory somewhere. But so what else? I know we've been talking about the pins because that's what caught my eye.
Mhm.
But talk about some of the other stuff you have in your store as well once it comes back.
Sure. So besides the Ruticorns,
Mm-hmm.
I also have what are called Fauna Fruits. Fauna Fruits are the other side of me, the sweeter,
Yeah.
kinder, gentler appeal, because I actually work in kids' toys.
Okay.
This is my full-time job is actually at a toy company, and I
Oh, nice.
love what we do. It's been a positive experience completely. So this was a side project that I did also while I was in school, and
Okay.
it started as a Kickstarter as well. I had so many kind backers that helped me and they supported this project. So I was able to get 3 large plush done.
Oh,
Uh,
cool.
and I love that if you look at the reviews, a lot of them are commenting on, well, I didn't think it was this big.
Right. Like when
So,
you say large, I saw a picture of one of these. They're like a freaking house. I mean, they're
yes,
huge.
I'm an
They're
80s
they're
kid.
bigger than life size. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm an 80s kid.
Me
And it felt
too.
like it had to be huggable.
Yes.
And if it didn't smell, it wasn't a toy,
Right.
right? They all have
Exactly.
scents. So I
Exactly.
have
Remember
two that,
strawberry shortcake?
that was my
Right. I
jam.
can
Yes.
still smell it. I can still smell them.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And don't forget Rainbow Bright.
Yeah,
She was
of course Rainbow
basically,
Bright.
yeah, she was basically my hero.
Right. Yeah, of course. I
Yeah.
actually mentioned her just the other day on an Instagram comment because somebody made some really cool rainbow leggings. And I'm like, it's Rainbow Bright.
Uh,
Yeah. So you're into the plush as well, and that's for the
yeah.
softer side more. And
Exactly. They also do come as pins, enamel
okay.
pins, and stickers. So I try to have a mix of both.
Okay.
Um, After the Ruticorn Kickstarter is complete and we've gone this course, we've gotten all the rewards out, I'm actually thinking of possibly doing a new Kickstarter maybe next year
Okay.
where I might have new enamel pins that are new and different
Cool.
animals that
Something
I already
completely
have.
different. Cool.
Exactly. So just to kind of expand that line because I really
Yeah.
loved it, but it's
Right.
so hard to balance a lot of different things that are in your mind and you want
Right.
to do. Unfortunately, I don't have octopus brain or arms, so
Right. Yeah, you just can't do everything. I know. I
ah, it's
everybody I know
tough, right?
falls into that. I have the hardest time with that too. But what was I going to say? I was going to ask you something, and now it just went right out of my head. But I was going to ask you how has COVID affected your business?
Honestly, I feel like it's kind of given it a boost since everyone
Yeah.
is home, they have a little more time to give themselves a little more me time or,
Mm-hmm.
quality family time, or they're looking for something unique that they can send away that they don't have to go and purchase in,
Right.
you know. So if it's the convenience of being able to just to purchase online, I think that that's actually been a little more helpful.
Yeah, online shopping really has taken
Yeah,
off with COVID.
exactly.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that I have talked to have been like, I everybody around me, and I thought too that I was going to be slow because everybody's off work and everybody's like talking about all this free time they have now. And
Yeah,
I'm sitting here, and most of the people I've been talking to are sitting here going, time? What time? I've never been this
right.
busy in my life.
I think
Yeah.
it's just being home, you don't want to forget how active you were.
Yeah.
So you
Well, actually,
create,
that's easy for me
yeah.
because this is about how active I was to begin with. Like, honestly, we went to social distancing, and I'm like, yeah, that's not a change. Nothing about this is different than my normal life.
I will say this, I love the traffic now. I live
Yeah,
in California and it's been a page turner.
I can imagine. I can imagine because California is known for the bad traffic, almost
Mm,
as bad as Chicago. I'm in Chicago,
yeah,
so
I'm a
I think we're
homebody,
still
so
worse.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. If I don't have to leave the house, that's perfectly fine. I actually found out, and this is probably TMI for some people, but I got a dog recently, and I was forced to leave the house because you have to go take
Mm,
them on walks and all that, right? And I
exactly.
found out, and I was terrified because I thought, oh my god, I must be allergic to the dog. No, I found out I'm literally allergic to the sun. Did you know that's a thing?
Oh,
I'm
yes.
like actually
Oh.
allergic to the sun. I broke out. I haven't recorded a tutorial video in
Mhm.
probably 2 months because I broke out in hives all over my arms. Like if I go out in the
Oh,
sun, I
yeah.
get like it's horrible. But they give me meds; it's all better now. But I didn't know people could be allergic to the sun.
We're all usually too busy to figure this out. We're
Right?
going into our
Exactly.
car to work and
Right? And you
you know,
think it's a sunburn or something, and it's like, yeah, no, it's
yeah.
an actual allergy. My doctor said that. I'm like, no.
I think that's
It's
kind of
like,
like a positive of what's going on now with us is that we take a little more approach to our health and
yeah,
we take, we go ahead and we give ourselves a little time to figure out, well, what's this bump? What's
right.
this?
Well,
This
because we're
wasn't
all
there before.
paranoid now too. We're all
Yeah.
paranoid now. Is this a sign? Is this a symptom?
Yeah.
Because we don't know anything about it. Maybe there's symptoms we don't know yet. Yeah,
I think that's
I don't know. It's been,
the silver lining of
yeah,
what's going on is that at least we're trying to take better care of ourselves.
right,
And
right.
so,
And each other. I've noticed a
exactly.
lot more helping going on in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, so you've been doing Kickstarter.
Yes.
And I'm actually interested in this because I can't call him a friend, but a game designer that I follow
Mhm.
that I've met in real life, and he's wonderful. And he started out on Kickstarter, and then he dropped Kickstarter and went to his own crowdsourcing for his
Oh,
project
wow.
because he said Kickstarter was not ideal once you got to a certain level. So how is your Kickstarter experience? Because it was really eye
Yeah.
opening to read about his. So I'm interested in hearing yours.
Well, if it's a more of a game kind of thing that he's putting on Kickstarter, I would think that he's looking for a high set amount.
Yes,
And when I'm doing Kickstarters, I don't have to think about that amount of money.
got it,
I'm
got
thinking
it.
about just enough where I can take care of pins and I'm not worried about software and upgrades and computers. And I think it all depends on how much you really need.
Yeah,
And like they say, more money, more problems, right?
right, right. So
So,
for a smaller size Kickstarter, it's been working well for you.
oh yeah.
Oh,
Um,
great.
I'm not really sure how well it does with the larger ones. I know that
Yeah.
I've tried to get on a few that were very, very large and
Mm-hmm.
it didn't work out so well for them, or
Oh,
it was a little, it exceeded what they thought they were going to. Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Because I can imagine at some point if it blows up, it exceeds your capability to meet the
exactly. So,
expectations, and then you're like, uh-oh, now what? Because I know me and my husband are really into board games, so we funded a lot of board games on Kickstarter and a lot of board game stuff like gaming tables and stuff like that on Kickstarter,
right.
and it's always interesting that some like we've got one that I think we were supposed to get 2 years ago, and we're still getting pieces coming in because they
Oh,
had
wow.
manufacturing. Well, it was it's a whole system. Like
Okay.
it's got parts and expansions and things like that, but we're still getting the parts coming in that were supposed to be in like 2 years ago because they just completely blew themselves out
Oh,
of the water and couldn't do it.
yeah.
And we have that a lot on Kickstarter. So
It's
yeah.
it's it's never an exact science.
No,
So I can't completely, I can't say, well, you should have known because there's no way for
right,
you to know. I mean, I'm
right,
literally waiting for one that I backed almost 5 years ago,
Wow.
and we haven't even got a piece.
Oh
But
no.
yeah, but I'm not going to call them out because, they're
Right.
already having problems of their own, especially now with a pandemic. And then
Yeah.
shipping has increased
Oh yeah.
with,
Oh yeah.
and that happened a few years ago. So I just,
Yeah.
Kickstarter's never going to be an exact science.
It's
And you're
not.
coming at this not from a professional, you know, stance.
Right.
They're individuals, and
Right. They're just like
Kickstarter
you
is
and me.
helping. Yeah,
Yeah. It's a great way. It's a great way to support people in starting something.
exactly.
Yeah, I really like it. So put up your Kickstarter link in the chat window. If you look down at the bottom of your window, you should see a chat
Oh, sure.
bubble.
There we are.
Yeah, so
Kickstarter.
go ahead and stick your Kickstarter URL in there, and
Okay.
I'll chit chat a little bit while you're looking it up.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm actually more or less out of questions. So I just want to remind everybody that the link that is in the comments, the Etsy link, that's an affiliate link. So I do get a commission if you click that link and you buy something. The Etsy store for Asher B is closed right now, but she's planning on reopening in July. So for the meantime, I've put her website link in there, and she's just added her Kickstarter link. So check all of these out because her stuff is really
Thank
awesome.
you.
You're welcome. Now, do you ever sell prints and stuff like that too, or is it just the,
I'm warming up to the idea.
yeah?
Prints, I always did when I went to conventions and I sold, and it
Mm-hmm.
was easier doing that.
Yeah,
I think I'm starting to warm up to shipping. I was always really nervous about shipping anything that was paper, and
yeah.
you know, my my weirdly imaginative brain just imagines out of the source things that aren't really going to happen. But I think I'm going to probably start implementing. We already have stickers, but
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to start putting more things probably at the end of the year.
Have
Um,
you heard of ASCI? It's the Association for Creative Industries.
I haven't.
Look them up. And the reason I'm saying this is because it's a big organization and it covers all the creative industries.
Mhm.
Um, and it's like crafting and arts and everything, right? Um, they have member perks that it's like group discounts and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And one of them is for UPS for shipping.
Oh,
So you can
wow.
actually set up a corporate account with UPS or a business account with UPS and get discounts on shipping through that business account.
Okay.
I've used it, or I've tried to use it once, but I ship things, once every 6 months. So every time I try to use it, my account's already expired, and
Oh, no.
yeah. But if you're
Oh,
looking at doing more shipping, check that out. It's
okay.
AFCI, the Association for Creative Industries.
Great. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. And they have a conference in January, so I'm hoping to go. But yeah, you can meet all of the companies that sell all the supplies you probably use,
Mhm.
resins and paints and all of, I don't even know everything in the art world, but all the art supplies you probably use, they're all there
Okay,
at the conference.
great.
So it's cool. Yeah,
I
it's
can't
it's
wait to look
like
into it.
it's like a shopping thing. It's like stores go there to
Mhm.
buy the supplies that they sell in their stores. So it's just an industry thing. It's not open to the general public. You have to be an industry member
Okay.
to get in. But if you have a business selling artwork, you're an industry member. So yeah, so it's very cool. You'll enjoy it, I think, and maybe I'll see you there because I'm hoping to be there in 2021.
Crossing fingers.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Oh, I can do it. There we go. I'm playing with this little piece of cardboard here, so my fingers got tied up in that. Anyway, I think that was all that I had. I'm going to pop over to Facebook real quick to see if we had
Okay.
any comments. I know we've had a couple people popping in and out. Nope, no comments there. So I think we can wrap up. Unless you
Great.
have anything else you want to share about your store, about art in general, life in general.
Um, just not really, other than I really hope that everyone has a great weekend.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm so happy that, today is Juneteenth.
Juneteenth.
So
Yes. Happy June. Is that the
Yes.
right thing to say? Is Happy Juneteenth, or is there a different greeting? Because I know, like
Honestly,
Memorial
and
Day, you can't say Happy
exactly
Memorial Day, right?
right. So I think we will find out
We'll find out. Yeah,
what's the most
somebody
appropriate.
comment and tell us if we're wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. Well, if it's not wrong, Happy Juneteenth.
Thank you.
You're welcome, and I will.
All
I
right.
hope to see you around.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Oh, thank you for coming. Have a good one.
All right. Bye.
Bye.